you're staring at your screen. You've been working for 3 hours. But if someone asked what you actually accomplished, you'd struggle to answer. This isn't laziness, it's something more dangerous. We live in the age of distraction. Every buzz, notification, and email pulls us away from what truly matters. Meanwhile, the people achieving extraordinary results, the ones writing books, building companies, mastering new skills, aren't necessarily smarter than you. They've simply learned to do something that's becoming increasingly rare, the ability to focus without distraction on cognitively demanding tasks. Deep work explores why focused work is both more valuable than ever and why most of us are losing the ability to do it. More importantly, it shows how to reclaim that ability. Let's start with a fundamental distinction: deep work versus shallow work. Deep work is professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive capabilities to their limit. It's the work that creates new value, improves your skills, and is difficult to replicate. Shallow work, on the other hand, consists of tasks performed while distracted. They're logistical, often easy to replicate, and don't create much new value. Think responding to emails, attending unnecessary meetings, or reorganizing your desk for the 3rd time this week. Here's the problem. Our modern work culture is designed for shallow work. Open offices encourage constant interruption. Corporate culture expects instant email responses. We've confused busyness with productivity, and we're paying a steep price. The reality is this: deep work produces results that matter. Shallow work produces the feeling of being busy. One builds your career and creates things of value. The other just fills time. If you spend your days in a fog of emails, messages, and meetings, you're not building anything substantial. You're maintaining. And in a competitive world, maintenance isn't enough. The second insight is understanding why deep work has become so valuable. We're living through an economic shift. The ability to quickly master hard things and produce at an elite level is becoming the cornerstone of professional success. These abilities depend entirely on deep work. Think about it. Learning a complex new skill, whether it's data analysis, programming, strategic thinking, or any specialized knowledge, requires intense, focused attention. You cannot master calculus while checking Instagram. You cannot learn a new language while scrolling Twitter. Your brain needs uninterrupted time to build the neural pathways that create genuine expertise. The same applies to producing valuable output. Writing a thoughtful report, designing a solution to a complex problem, creating something original. These activities require your full cognitive resources. When you fragment your attention, you fragment the quality of your work. Meanwhile, shallow work is increasingly being automated or outsourced. The tasks that don't require deep thinking are the first to disappear. The skills that will matter tomorrow are precisely those that require deep work today. Yet here's the paradox: as deep work becomes more valuable, it's also becoming more rare. Most work environments actively prevent it. This creates an enormous opportunity. If you cultivate the ability to do deep work in a world where most people cannot, you gain a significant competitive advantage. The third insight involves understanding why we've lost the ability to focus, and it's not what you think. The issue isn't just distractions. It's that we've trained our minds to crave distraction. Every time you feel slightly bored and immediately reach for your phone, you're weakening your mental muscles for concentration. Your brain is remarkably adaptable. When you constantly switch between tasks, constantly seek novelty, constantly give in to the urge to check something, anything, you're literally rewiring your brain to be distracted. You're making focused work harder every single day. Think about your typical work session. You sit down to tackle something important. 2 minutes in, you wonder if you received any new emails. You check. Nothing important, but now you've broken your focus. You return to the task. A few minutes later, a thought pops up, maybe just a quick look at the news. Before you know it, 20 minutes have vanished and you're no closer to completing your work. This isn't a character flaw, it's conditioning, and the modern digital environment is specifically designed to create this conditioning. Social media platforms, news sites, even email systems, they all profit from fragmenting your attention. The solution isn't just blocking distractions during work. It's retraining your brain to be comfortable with focus, with boredom, with sustained attention. This means being intentional about when you allow distraction, not just when you prevent it. If you give your mind permission to seek novelty at the slightest hint of boredom throughout your day, you cannot expect it to suddenly focus for hours when you need it to. Concentration is a skill, and like any skill, it atrophies when you don't practice it. The fourth insight is about structure. You cannot rely on willpower alone to achieve deep work. You need systems. Different people structure deep work differently, and there's no single right approach. Some people isolate themselves for extended periods, eliminating all shallow work. Think of a writer disappearing to a cabin for months. Others alternate between deep and shallow periods, perhaps dedicating certain days entirely to focused work. The most practical approach for most professionals is creating a daily rhythm. This means scheduling deep work at the same time each day until it becomes a habit. Perhaps it's the first 3 hours of your morning before meetings begin. Perhaps it's a protected afternoon block. The specific time matters less than the consistency. The key is treating deep work time as sacred. It goes on the calendar like any important meeting. During this time, you're unavailable. Your phone is off, email is closed, you're working on one cognitively demanding task and nothing else. You also need rituals that support deep work. This might mean a specific location where you only do focused work. It might mean a cup of coffee and 10 minutes of walking before you begin. It might mean a shutdown ritual at the end of your workday where you review what you've accomplished and plan tomorrow. These rituals matter because they reduce the mental energy required to start. When deep work is connected to specific triggers and routines, you spend less energy deciding to focus and more energy actually focusing. The fifth insight is perhaps the most controversial. You need to be ruthless about protecting your time and attention. This means making hard choices about what you say no to. Not every email deserves a response. Not every meeting deserves attendance. Not every social media platform deserves your presence. We operate under an assumption that connectivity is inherently good, that being available is professional, that participating in every digital conversation is necessary. These assumptions are worth questioning. Consider your digital tools carefully. Each app on your phone, each platform you use, each newsletter you subscribe to, they all claim a piece of your attention. The question isn't whether they provide any benefit. The question is whether the benefit justifies the cost to your attention and time. Many people dramatically overestimate the professional cost of being less connected and dramatically underestimate the personal cost of constant connectivity. The world will not collapse if you don't respond to emails within 10 minutes. Your career will not end if you're selective about social media. But your ability to produce work that matters might end if you remain perpetually fragmented. This also applies to shallow work within your job. Look honestly at how you spend your workday. How much time goes to truly important work? How much goes to tasks that feel urgent but aren't important? Reducing the shallow frees up space for the deep. Let's make this concrete with some examples you might recognize. Imagine you're working on an important presentation. Under typical conditions, you might spend a week on it, but that week includes constant interruptions. You work a bit, check email, attend a meeting, work a bit more, respond to messages. Total actual focus time? Maybe 6 hours spread across 5 days. The result is adequate, but not impressive. Now imagine approaching it differently. You block 3 hours on your calendar with no interruptions. Phone off, email closed, door shut. You focus exclusively on the presentation. In those 3 hours, you accomplish what previously took 6 fragmented hours, but the quality is significantly higher because your full cognitive resources were available. Or consider learning a new skill. You want to understand data analysis for your field. The shallow approach is watching YouTube videos while also checking your phone, taking 40 hours to develop basic competence. The deep approach is focused, deliberate practice for 1 hour daily with 0 distractions, achieving the same competence in 20 hours and likely better retention because your full attention was engaged. These aren't dramatic changes. They're the same tasks, approached with different attention strategies, but the results are dramatically different. So how do you actually implement deep work? Here are practical steps you can start today. First, schedule your deep work. Open your calendar right now and block time tomorrow for focused work. Start with just 90 minutes if you're out of practice. Put it in the calendar like you would an important meeting. Second, choose one specific task for that block. Not work on project, something concrete, draft outline for proposal, or solve the database problem, or write introduction section. Specificity prevents decision fatigue. Third, eliminate distractions before you start. Turn your phone off, not on silent, off. Close your email. If you work in an office, find a quiet space or use headphones. Tell colleagues you're unavailable. Make it physically difficult to get distracted. Fourth, track your deep work time. Keep a simple tally of how many hours you actually spend in deep focus each week. This builds awareness and creates accountability. You might be shocked by how little genuine focus time you currently have. Fifth, practice being bored. When standing in line waiting for coffee or walking between locations, resist the phone. Let your mind wander. This rebuilds your capacity for sustained attention. Sixth, create a shutdown ritual. At the end of your workday, review what you've accomplished, plan tomorrow, and then mentally close the door on work. This prevents shallow work from invading your evening and ensures you start fresh tomorrow. Here's the truth that makes all of this matter. Your ability to focus might be the most important skill you can develop in the modern economy. Not because focus itself is magical, but because focus enables everything else. Focus allows you to learn what others cannot learn. It allows you to create what others cannot create. It allows you to solve problems others cannot solve. In a world of constant distraction, the ability to go deep is both rare and extraordinarily valuable. You have a choice. You can continue letting your attention be fragmented, pulled in 1,000 directions, producing shallow work that creates shallow results. Or you can reclaim your ability to focus, protecting the time and mental space needed for work that actually matters. The question isn't whether you have time for deep work. It's whether you're willing to protect that time from everything trying to steal it. If you found this valuable and want more practical insights from important books, subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.